My research is about cinemas and cinema going in London during the 1910s and 1920s, so during the period of silent film. 100 years ago, in 1914, there were more than 500 cinemas in the London area. So to put that in perspective, today in London there are about 160. So cinemas really were a ubiquitous part of the city. Where I'm standing now, on Tottenham Court Road, there were 6 cinemas. Some of them really next door to each other, but somehow they all managed to coexist. I think one of the explanations for this is just the sheer number of times that people went to the cinema. A survey conducted of London cinema goers in 1927 suggested that about 2/3 of cinema goers went at least twice a week. So those people who went to the cinema went a lot. So far, part of my research has been about cinema going in the West End. Leicester Square was one of the centres of the West End entertainment scene from the Victorian period all the way through into the interwar period. It was also one of the early homes for film in London. From the 1890s, both the variety theatres here, the Alhambra and the Empire, showed films on their programmes. These would have been short films, comedies, novelty films, films about topical events, and a whole set of films might only take about 20 minutes. Both the variety theatres were later converted into cinemas, the Empire into the Empire Cinema in 1928 and the Alhambra into the Odeon Cinema in 1936. But the earliest cinema here was actually a small cinema called the Circle in the Square, which opened just next door to the Alhambra in the summer of 1909. This seated about 260 people, and it also had a special lounge area to the side of the auditorium called the bioscopic tea rooms, where people could sit and drink and watch films all at the same time. I'm standing in front of a construction site for the new Crossrail Terminus. In 1926, this would have also been a building site for the conversion of what had been a pickle factory into the new Astoria theatre. This could seat about 2,000 people in a big steel-frame building. There was also room for an orchestra, an organ, and special lighting effects, all adding to the atmosphere. In the basement downstairs, there was also a tea lounge and a huge dance hall called the Astoria Dance Salon. This was a new kind of super cinema, which sprung up all over London during the 1920s. And the Astoria is a really good example of how cinema owners tried to make their buildings not just into destinations for watching films, but into somewhere you could go for a whole night out. Some of the early cinema buildings in London are still standing, and there's some just behind me. But the way they're used, I think, is quite different. And what really fascinates me about looking at the early history of cinema going is just how different this simple everyday activity can be over time.